Christians, my friends, foolish born-again Christians who are believers and not thinkers.
Yeah, Zoe once again. You know, when you're young, you believe everything, but when you grow, you need to question them. These are some questions, very relevant. Don't be offended. Better music. All right, yeah. Many so time me who we are seeing me no. And I yesu beba maybe sanebia na wengo. Fise free tete. A Christopher Jesus is coming to 20 years ago. And so still I won't do. Common sense in judgment in answer that why you garden of feeding. Onyankopon said we are the wembu. Yeah. To be on the map on summer went to. Oh yeah, was a bon summer me bonia me kojemo. When you blasphemy, but me who say it make sense. On the ball me or mama journey for self-defense. When I go bob on some somebody paya bonia, I then I won't couldn't to avoid more offense. But when kumu sam no koneba. Before then, we be who being keka. Or not this room for when te mene aquanantena. Na jana jatia sasso na jebe shamana jaconia. Hey, who be the enemy? Samoka sebon samoa, a Sunday so funny. O Christonia uni do, munyame sumponi. Na mo bompa ye tututu, na bruni making more money. And pabon save your economy, so shut up. Use the common sense. Yeah, you might never woman nenya with daily bread, not two way japa dear who fence. O kwa sorry you, one co, body nana church. Who to yasika de month of 4 and a year in a weekend. We don't go pong, we need bank account. Yame some pani so bepeka crack over yanka. Utu ya tight, to your dues, $1 pounds. And so make us say you be pound sorry I could pampa. With all due respect, Yamaria Sam senior meal. When you go boy, you say Yamesume Yahu. It's we a lawyer near, we a doctor near, we a teacher near, Dino Cray and one no. CSF Abraham de Moshe. Nana yeton kante maka Ghana antiti say religion ti kamia ye say nyansa nya adwuma biemu. Yato yen kocha na twena kofa broni die no. Wuhia bibini a ye frɛ wo saying or ye frɛ me Frederick. And so be who broni bia ye frɛ the Kofi Konto. Ya identity. So who gonna be called the brethren? Broni say nekete that's why bibini mbobo. Adwene ne ho abode ne bre. Obi ne ho awatwa bibie sika da ho a wonpe. Wa bro ni kapra ye de to ahwe de. Enti Africa yanto ye ne meye be ye mobo. Ye frɛ me zo we nwum ne ye me bombo kokko.
Mr. Benchi on the beat.
The brain, we need common sense, we need wisdom, we need insight, we need understanding to run a nation. We don't need prayers.
Koteti anchen.
Kompai bokasi.
David koteti anchen.
Sufre urade.
Was okwadofo.
Okwadofo.
Koteti anchen.
Wa buantati anchen.
National kwan.
Na bi uweni. Hwentati ana kwan. Asamando a 16 gate and wa asamando. First gate no. Angel be go gate na e fen ayakim. Second gate angel be ho. Ya fen nafta. Third gate angel be ho. Ya fen Kelly. Ojidi. Ni create theory. Also him too. Wa uti wa bamu abu.
Na won bu abi o.
Uti mi say me question.
Na omanum sem so asan.
Wanum nsem so asan.
Na so won kasa bi o.
Na say uti wa uti mi say me question.
Na ugina ho.
Na ugina ho.
Na won bu abi o.
Na bi say question ti.
Mentwen ana.
Mentwen ana. Me nuanum Ghana fo me chiachia mu nyina. Me dinde Abraham bin Moshe. Adodo na frɛ me the Bible Zero Mercy. Me da ekua ye frɛ no Common Sense Family. Common Sense Family ekuo bi a aba ye bie nuanu Ghana fo ani. Said ye be ya ye be yusu adwene a Nyankopɔn de maaye. Ye terms bi a ye ka se adwene na nya adwuma body ne bre. Ya yehye program bi ya to din say Time with the Common Sense Family. Ewo Amin TV any TV2. Jibre na hwe program ni. A program you be discuss religious issues. You be say Bible ye jitu mu fritete say Nyankopon asem no. Bible no Nyankopon asem ampa na. Quran no efri Nyankopon. Nyankopon bi wo ho a wo bo so ne asase. A wo do nipa daache. Ode nipa ebegu bunsam gem ana.
Eye opener on this one. These are the words of a wise man. Nobody carries a heavy burden than he who has evil intentions. Once there's a creation, there must be a creator. God whose supernatural powers and miracles can only be found in the book, but not in real life. Is equal to a God who never existed. Nasajina Nyejuma, Bojini Bre, Abraham bin Moshe, leader of Common Sense Family. No size, Wagwan P Black.
Proverbs, Mamini, we know. Proverbs 18:13. Dia obua asam ansana wayemu hwehwemu no. We ye Jimmy for. What you say? Dia obua asam deɛ wɔte asɛm na obua ansa na wayɛ mu nhwehwɛmu no Bible so yɛ gyimifoɔ Proverbs 13 18:13 Proverbs 18:13.
I think if there is a God, I don't know if it's the one in the Bible, because that's a weird story. He's our Father, and we're his children. That's it. Our Father who art in heaven. Where's our mother? What happened to our mom? What did he do to our mom? Something happened. Somewhere in heaven there's a porch with a dead lady under it, and I want this story.
My friends, foolish born-again Christians who are believers and not thinkers. You lie to them, they believe it. You deceive them. You know the Christians, born-again Christians, are the easiest people to deceive. Yeah, Pastor Ghani says they like to be deceived. As a matter of fact, when I started ministry as a young man, I was talking to an older,
Good morning, CSF. Good morning. Now, Adam Sterling, share. This morning, we are coming to have a little beautiful, nice, awesome discussion in the Bible. I've not been doing Bible topics for some time now, but yesterday morning, I was contemplating about this thing in the Bible, and I realized we need to speak about it. We need to understand the Bible. You know, we're not taught to read the Bible well to understand. So when you come, you share this video for me. Share. Yeah, good morning. My name is Lifestone GH. This is my page, African Youth Empowerment. When you are here, you know it's strictly English. I'm coming to do English. We are coming to decode the Bible in English. Yeah, like Richie Curtis, I see you. Greetings, bro, sister, focus, Nana Equia Free. I see you. You are welcome. This morning is going to be a lovely discussion. It's going to be a nice topic, and I know you would love it. You know, when I was in church, okay? When I was in church, I quite remember I was a very young, small boy who was going to Sunday school. And I remember sometime we went to church, and the Sunday school madam was trying to teach us about Genesis, how God created man, and man sinned, and God sacked man out of the garden, and so on and so forth. As a young child, I remember asking my Sunday school teacher this simple question. I asked my Sunday school teacher, madam, so why didn't God just remove the tree from the garden? I remember this was the exact question I asked her that, well, this thing, to solve all this issue would have been simple. Why didn't God just take the tree out of the garden? There shouldn't have been a tree there at all. And this thing is bringing me to my new series that I'm about to start maybe from next week. We are looking at, can the God in the Bible and Quran be used as an example for parenting? That is a new series that I'm about to start. If you want to be a parent, can you use the attitude of the God in the Bible and Quran to be a parent? Would that make you a good parent? That is a new series. But this morning, we are here to talk about Genesis 11. Genesis 11. Genesis 11. This is what we are here this morning to discuss. You know, there are things in the Bible, okay? That is why sometimes we say when we are reading the Bible, okay, we read the Bible with the heart and not with the brain. Because there are certain things when you start reading from the Bible with your brain, it will not make sense to you. That is why we accept religion by the heart and not by the brain. That is why we say abosom, because it's something that you accept by your heart. You don't use your brain. You understand? So religion is something like that. We accept religion with the heart and not with the brain. So there are things that you'll be reading, even though it doesn't make sense, then your heart accepts it that, oh, yeah, the religious people will tell it is God. He likes to do what he likes to do. But logically, you know the thing that you are reading doesn't make sense. That is it. I've been looking at the attitude of this biblical and Quranic God for some weeks now. I want to look at the attitude and attribute their attitude to something. I don't know. Please let me say this. This is my page. It's my computer. It is my data bundle, and it is my time that I am wasting. I am not forcing you to be here. Let me make this thing clear. I am not forcing anyone to be here. As Retron, you came because you saw a topic and you wanted to come and see what is happening. When you come to my page and you don't agree with me, please. Obape Chan will tell you we have GTV, we have UTV, Adum TV. They are showing a whole lot of things this morning. Please, you can kindly leave the page, go and switch to Adum TV and watch that place. When you come here and you insult, I will block you. That is the rule that I have on this page. When you come, I'm speaking. If you don't understand anything, there will be opportunity for you to come and defend. But immediately I see you insult, I will block you. It's simple. That is my page. If you don't accept it, please, you are welcome to leave. There are other live programs going on social media. You can tune into any. But please don't come here and insult. Thank you. So I was looking at the characteristics of this biblical God. And I got to a popular verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. And it is written there that God is not an author of confusion. God is not an author of confusion. And I was like, wow, this statement sounds very good. God is not an author of confusion. So let's see this. Let's see this. It is there. When you read 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33, this is what is written there. God is not a God of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. Accepted. So God is not a God of confusion and of peace. Then I started reading the Bible from Genesis until I got to Genesis 11. And there was an event there that contradicts this very verse that I just read. There is an event in Genesis 11 that contradicts this very statement in the Bible, that God is not a God of confusion. Then I began to ask myself, is the Bible really telling us the truth, or is the Bible confusing us? Because if God is not a God of confusion, then what happened in Genesis 11? Was it the mind of somebody? Was it added to the Bible by mistake? Or what really happened? So I will not be doing this video for long. Within some 30 minutes, I'm sure I'll be done with this topic. Let's go to Genesis 11. What is Genesis 11 about? Genesis 11 is about the Tower of Babel, or the Tower of Babylon. The events of Genesis 11 happened after the great flood. After the flood of Noah, and Noah and his family survived. The three children, the three children survived with their wives, and they started making a new generation. Genesis 11 was after this flood, when new people have dominated the earth, because according to the Noah flood, a lot of evildoers were washed away. Those who were doing evil were washed away with the flood, okay? So we assume everyone that existed or everyone that survived after the flood was a good person. So there was this new generation that came. No, and the Bible story is very interesting. When I started reading the story, I loved the story. Until I got to where I realized God or the Bible was contradicting its God. That is why I'm here. Now, let me share my screen and let's go. My Bible reader is not available today. Grace Namumwa Sante, she's busy. So I'll be doing the Bible reading myself, but I'll still project it. Then we all read together. Okay. So let's look at this. Genesis 11. The topic or the subject of this very chapter is the Tower of Babel. Genesis 11 verses 1 to 9. It's talking about the Tower of Babel. Okay? The Tower of Babel. Let's read verse 1. Now the whole earth had one language and the same words. I'll be taking it verse after verse, okay? Look at this. They said now the whole world had one language and they used the same words. Logically, it would have been good. It would have been perfect if the whole world was indeed using one language and were using the same word. Because if this was to be so, then the world would be at peace because we would understand each other the more. Because I do not need to learn a different language to go to Saudi Arabia. I do not need to learn a different language in order to go to Germany. I do not need to learn a different language in order to go to Britain. Then the world will be at peace and man will be in unison. So according to Genesis 11 verse 1, this is how the world was. Now the whole earth had one language and we use the same words. Verse 2. And as people migrated from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. Verse 3. And they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and burn them thoroughly. And they had bricks for a stone, a bitumen for mortar. Verse 4. They said, come and let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. The verse 4 is also very important. They said what? They said, come let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its tops in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. So what was human beings trying to do? They were wandering around the east. That was after the great flood. The whole earth was destroyed. So they found a plain in the Babylonia at far side of the east. And they realized this place was good. So they told themselves, let us settle here. Whilst we settle here, let us build a city here. And let us build a tower which will reach the sky. You know, when we were going to Sunday school, this story was narrated to us differently. And the story was narrated to us like the people wanted to build a tower that will be able to reach where God is. You've been to Sunday school. You've been to Sunday school and you know what I'm saying. When we were in Sunday school, this was how we were taught. That the people wanted to build this tower that would reach where God was. They wanted to build a tower to reach heaven. No, it was never like that. They wanted to build a tower that would be long enough to reach the sky. Today we have planes, we have rockets flying over the sky. God has not destroyed any of this. This is why we are telling you the Bible characters are mythical characters. And all the stories in the Bible are myths. They are fabrications. They are fictions. In real life, it doesn't make sense. And it did not happen anywhere. So there was one people. They were in unison. They were united. They spoke one language. And they wanted to build a city on themselves where they would not be dispersed over there. They didn't want to scatter. They wanted to be together. They wanted to maintain that unity. So even if the ages they were expanding, they will expand from where they are. This is human beings trying to be more intelligent by this so-called biblical God. They wanted to remain forever. They didn't want to be dispersed over the earth. So they said to themselves, let us build a tower. Let us build a city. A tower whose ends will reach the sky. It was never about building the tower to go and meet God. No one knows where God is. There is nowhere in the Bible. Now we have rockets, we have planes that have flew through the sky and back and forth. We have rockets going visiting the next planet that exists. No one still knows where God is. And logically, it will not make sense for human beings to be able to build a tower that will reach the moon. It will not make sense that they were going to build a tower with bricks that will reach the moon, looking at the distance between the earth and the sky. Logically, it is not possible. So this is what makes this story a fiction. It's just a fiction. It's just a mythical story that was added to the Bible. But the myth and the fiction is not my concern. I'm not concerned about the myth and fiction. I'm concerned about the attitude, the character of this biblical God who we call a father. With this biblical God who is a father to all humanity. I just want to look at his character. Now, this is what the people were thinking. So verse 4, then they said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with 8 tops in the heavens, and let us make name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. That was good. The people wanted to do this so that they don't scatter around the earth, so that they will remain together, forever and be with each other. Let's go to verse 5. He said, then Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of man had built. Now, this is also a limitation. This is a limitation. And God said, God came down to see the tower and the city which the Son of Man has built. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Meaning when God is wherever he is, the omnipotent God, the omnipresent God, the omniscient God, wherever he was, he could not see what the people was doing unless he came down to see for himself. And this is also part of another series that I'll be doing eventually. The limitations of the biblical God. The limitation of the biblical God. The God could not see where he was. Wherever place that this omniscient, omnipresent God was, he could not see. Now he had to come down and see for himself. So Genesis 11 verse 5 is a pure limitation to God. If there is anything I think I am doing this morning, I am trying to save this God from embarrassment. I am fighting to save this God from embarrassment because the text that I'm reading is a complete insult to this omnipresent and omniscient God. The verse that I just read is a complete insult. If you are a logical thinking person who believes in a God that created this universe, this powerful God, then this Genesis 11 verse 5 is a complete insult to this God. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of man had built. God could not see from where he was. He had to come down to see for himself. This is a God I don't want to worship. Because the God I want to worship is omniscient. He's omnipresent. He doesn't need to come. He already knows what we are going to do. Let's continue from verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, they are one people, and they have all one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Ow, 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 ow. The God saw this, that yes, behold, the earth, we were one people, human beings were one people, we were united, and it made that powerful. And this power threatened God. This power that we had, it threatened God. So behold, they are one people, and they have all one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. So God saw how human beings were united. We were together, and because of this, unity is strength. Right from the beginning, right from the onset, the biblical God knew unity was strength. And the God feared how powerful we will become when we were united. The God feared how powerful humans will be when they are united. Do you know this was the exact code that was used in the Berlin Conference to divide the African continent? Please share this video for me. Genesis 11:6. This was the exact code that was used in 1844 under the Berlin Conference to divide the entire continent of Africa, because they saw we were one people, we were united. And in order to conquer us, they had to divide us. If they had not divided us, we would have been stronger than them. So the attribute of the God in Genesis 11 is the attribute of your colonial masters. The attribute of the God in Genesis 11 is a complete attribute to your colonial masters. When they came to Africa, they realized we were one people. We had empires, but we were one. We were together. We understood each other. And in order for them to conquer us, the only thing to have done was to divide us. Because unity is strength. When Africa, today still, the unity of Africa is what is threatening the Western world. And they are doing everything that they can to fight against this. They are doing everything possible to fight against the unity of Africa. Why? Because it has been coded into your Bible. Unity is strength. And the God in the Bible feared that people were united and they were one and they understood each other. I'll be explaining more. Let's continue with the verse. So verse 6, and the Lord God said, behold, they are one people, and they have all one language. And this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. That is the power of unity. Verse 7, then God said, come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand each other's speech. Listen to the God of the Bible. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, so they may not understand one another's speech. At the beginning of this video, I showed this verse. I showed this. What is in highlighting? 1 Corinthians 14:33. For God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. God is not a God of confusion, but of peace, according to 1 Corinthians 14:33. If God is not a God of confusion, but of peace, then Genesis chapter 11, verse 7 is a false statement. And if Genesis chapter 11, verse 7 is correct, then 1 Corinthians 14:33, it's wrong. It's a lie. It's a deceit. This is the deceit in the Bible. A God who is not a God of confusion but of peace is the one talking in Genesis chapter 11, verse 7. And the God is saying, come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand each other. This was the question that I asked. The people that were building that tower, what sin did they commit? No, we know the earth was in sin. A lot of sins were around the earth. That is why God used the flood to destroy the whole earth and save some people. Meaning the people that he saved were pure of sin. So I'm asking this simple question. The people that decided to build that tower, what was the sin? What did they do against God? Because from the verse, I've not seen anything that people did bad, except there were people who wanted to remain united. There were people who spoke one language. There were people who did not want to leave each other. They didn't want to be scattered across the earth without knowing each other. So they wanted to build a city to start civilization. And from there, their generations will continue. I've been asking myself, what did the people do wrong? Now, Genesis 11:7, God said, come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so they may not understand each other. God came down to set confusion among people. This same God is telling me in 1 Corinthians 14:33 that for God is not a God of confusion but of peace. God is not a God of confusion but of peace. You see, this is a pure contradiction. This is when we are going to say the Christians are going to come and they are going to tell you you need spiritual understanding. 1 Corinthians 14:33. If you tell me that God in the New Testament is different, sometimes this is what Christians used to say. They said that God in the New Testament is different, then I will take you to Numbers 23:19. The same God said this in Numbers 23:19. God is not man that he should lie, or a son of man that should change his mind. Listen, Numbers 23:19 is saying this. God is not man that he should lie, or a son of man that should change his mind. So, these two verses, okay? 1 Corinthians 14:33. God is not a God of confusion but of peace. Then we come to Genesis 11:7. And the God said, come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand each other's speech. The God of confusion. The God who did not want people to be united. The God who saw the unity as people as a threat. Yes, God saw the unity of his own children as a threat. This is why I'm coming to start the new series that I'm saying, is the God in the Bible a good example for parenting? The God in the Bible and Quran, are they good examples of parenting? Because there are a lot of things. Let's remember, this same God had two people, Jacob and Esau. And God said it point blank, I love Esau, and I love Jacob, but I hate Esau. Is this God as an example of parenting? A parent who has given birth to many children will have loved that all their children will be united. Their children will be unison. Their children will understand each other so that they may live a good life. Now look at your God. Your God did not like that. So your God said, come, let us go down there, confuse their language so that they may not understand one another's speech. The God of confusion. The God of confusion. Verse 8. So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of all the earth, and they left off the building the city. Verse 9. Therefore, its name was called Babel, because the Lord confused the language of all the earth, and from there the Lord dispersed them over the face of all the earth. The place was called Babel because the Lord confused the language of all the earth. The God of confusion. The God of confusion. What role did this particular verse, Genesis 11 verse 1 to 9, what role did it play in the colonization of the African continent? Genesis 11 verse 9, what role did it play in the colonization of the African continent? Now, this is where I'm coming to decode it for you. The first part of my message to show you that God in the Bible was a God of confusion. And what he said in 1 Corinthians 14:33 is a pure lie. He lied. What is written in 1 Corinthians 14:33 is a lie. God is a God of confusion. He confused people not to understand each other. He set confusion among people. Now, let me decode the verse for you. Genesis 11, verse 1 to 9 was used on the continent of Africa. It was used under the Berlin Conference in 1844 to make sure Africans don't stay united. Someone will ask me, what happened in 1844? What happened in 1844? 1844, when the colonizers of Africa came and they started looting the resources of Africa, it got to a time they started fighting among themselves because each wanted a territory that was rich that they could capture. Okay, so what did they do? They devised a strategy and they called a meeting. That is what we call the Berlin Conference. If you don't know about the Berlin Conference, I'm just giving you an introduction to the Berlin Conference. So they set up this Berlin Conference where they went to meet and they devised a strategy to divide Africa among themselves. To divide Africa among the Portuguese and the British and the French and the Arabs. Yeah. The Berlin Conference was what they used to divide Africa. Before 1844, we had no countries in Africa like Nigeria and Ghana. Africa, the continent of Africa, had empires. And we were one people and we were united. They saw this and realized, no, when these people are united, they can do too much. They can be of great use. When they are united, we cannot conquer them. The only way to conquer them is to divide them. So Africans wake up one morning and all of a sudden, we saw the boundaries. We saw the borders. After the Berlin Conference, we wake up one morning and we saw all the borders. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Benin, Guinea. Genesis 11 played a major role in this because the white man brought a Bible, the white man wrote the Bible, and he knew the codes in the Bible, and he used the Bible for his communication, and he did exactly according to what he wrote. So the white man was the one in Genesis 11 that was saying, now, when they came to Africa, this is it. So when they came to Africa, I'll change this topic, then I'll make it the confusion of the African continent. The confusion of the African continent. So Genesis 11:1. Now, when the white man got to the land of Africa, the whole Africa had one language and they had the same words. We were one people. We were united. We were united. Now let's go. Let's go to why this thing became a threat for them. It became a threat for them in Genesis 6. This is what they said there. Then they said, behold, these Africans, they are one people. They have all one language. And this is the beginning of what they will do. This is only the beginning of what we can do. And nothing that we propose to do will be impossible for us. So when the white man got here, they knew this. They knew because we were one people, we were united, nothing that we proposed to do would have been impossible for us. So what did they do? What did they do? Let's continue. From verse 7, then they said, come, let us go down there to Africa and confuse them. Let us go down to Africa and confuse them so that they may not understand each other. And how did they accomplish this? How did they do this? They divided Africa in the Berlin Conference into countries. They divided Africa under the Berlin Conference into countries. And they took Ghana, they took Ghana as an English-speaking country, and they surrounded Ghana with French-speaking countries that we could not understand and communicate with each other. The same thing they did to Nigerians. Because if you were English together, we would have been united and would have been able to fight them earlier. So now, as a Ghanaian, when you are going to communicate to someone in Burkina Faso, or you are going to communicate with someone in Cote d'Ivoire, that let us come together and fight these people, the language barrier is going to be a problem. Because they speak French and you speak English, and you would never understand each other. They made sure this thing happened to keep the continent of Africa divided because they feared unity. Please share this video for me. That is why I said I am coming to decode Genesis 11 for you. Genesis 11 played a major role in the colonization of Africa because they did not want people who were united. They want people who are divided. And it's not over. It came down to country level. It entered into democracy. It came down to country level and entered into democracy. The white man who brought you democracy and gave you your constitution does not run the same thing in their place. They run a kingdom. The white man who brought you democracy, they don't do the same thing at their place. The England does not run the kind of governance that we run. They run under a kingdom. There is a family line that is controlling the whole England for how many years now? They run an empire because under the empire, they can be united. Under this empire, they can be united because they have just one ruler, Queen Elizabeth, and that is it. And under Queen Elizabeth, they can be united. They brought you democracy and they brought you politics. And this was it. MPP, NDC, another division. So apart from the fact that Africa has been divided amongst ourselves in the same countries, we cannot be united because of partisan politics. MPP, NDC. I don't want to do this video for long. But you see where I'm taking the topic to. I've taken you right from the Bible, from this confused God, to how it played a role and is still leading and governing our country today. Genesis 11 is a big code. So now we have MPP, NDC. Ghanaians cannot be united because of MPP, NDC. Because it was a plan. It was an agenda and it has successfully worked. We cannot come together to build our country. When MPP comes to power, whatever NDC did, they can't continue it because the praise will go to NDC. When NDC is in power, whatever MPP left behind, they will not continue it because the praise will go to MPP. This is it. This is us. And we still don't realize this. And the Christian sits home and takes their Bible and they read through Genesis 11 and they clap for God. Ah, God did well. Excellent. God did well. God caused confusion among people. God caused confusion among people that were united. And they clap their hands for this God. Wonderful, good work done. Because they don't apply reasoning. They don't apply logic. They don't apply common sense. The brain that they were given, they would not apply it in reading the book. So they read this kind of stupid thing and they attribute it to a divine God, a divine being who has created the children that he loves and later on decided to cause confusion among the children. We cannot see it. That is why Africa is where it is. How can we unlock the mysteries in Genesis 11? Because without unity, we cannot progress as a continent. And they know this. The people who wrote this, they understood what they wrote. The white man understands Genesis 11 more clearly than a black man can ever comprehend. The white man understands this Tower of Babel, this fictional story that was encoded to be brought into reality, to divide people. The white man understands this more than you. And you still can't see through it. They were one people. They were united. There is no verse in this entire chapter that will tell you that people were sinners. They were wicked people. They were killing each other. No. The people had good intention. Look at the verse 3. And they said to one another, come, let us make bricks, burn them thoroughly. And they had bricks for stone and bitumen for mortar. Verse 4, they said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with 8 tops in the heavens, and let us make name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. The reason why they wanted to build this city and build this tower was to make name for themselves and not be dispersed, not be scattered on earth. They did not want to be divided. They did not want to be divided. But it was a code that was used against you. And you've read this code over and over again, and yet you applaud. That yes, after this, the God wants to change his mind in a New Testament, and it is written in 1 Corinthians 14:33 that God is not a God of confusion. So the white man is not a man of confusion, but the same white man came to confuse your people. Till today, the only threat that the white man fears is the unity of people. The unity of Africa is a big threat to people. And they will do everything to make sure that this doesn't happen. The same way Malcolm X was killed, the same way Kwame Nkrumah was killed, the same way Gaddafi was killed. And the next target we are looking for right now is Paul Kagame. He's the next target. The same way Thomas Sankara was killed. Paul Kagame is the next target. Whoever is coming to fight the unity of Africa to unlock this Genesis 11 mystery is a potential target to be killed. Why? Because the division is playing into the arms of God. The division allowed God to do whatever he wants, manipulated human beings every way he wanted. So the division of Africa has let the white man manipulate Africans to everything that they want. Today they speak and we are quiet. They teach us the clothes to wear. They teach us the language to speak. They teach us how to educate our children. They teach us the food to eat and the medicine to drink. Because why? They use the code and the code works excellently. They use the code and the code worked. Genesis 11, the God of confusion. So they came and they set confusion in Africa. If you look at the French-speaking countries, the Francophone countries in Africa, they are the most difficult people to communicate with. If you look at them, communicating with them is very difficult because their understanding was programmed differently. That is why Africa cannot be united. And it was a code, and it was used against you. So this morning, I have showed you the God of confusion who lied in the Bible, caused people confusion, and how that code played into your own history. We use the brain. And we are using the brain to decode all the scriptures. You don't know the Bible played a major role in your slavery. That's also another series to come. The Bible played a major role in the enslavement of the black man. But today, the black man hates everything about slavery except the tool that was used in orchestrating the slavery, which is the Bible. The black man hates everything about slavery except the Bible. Why? Because the Bible was used in both two things, the physical slavery and the mental slavery. The physical slavery we have fought, but the mental slavery, which is more powerful than the physical slavery, is something we are yet to understand and control. You don't know the mental slavery is far powerful than the physical slavery. Because the physical slavery was done with chains, guns, ammunition, things that you could see physically with your eye. But the mental slavery is the worst form of slavery that any man can be into, because you can't see. Immediately they have taken your ability to reason. They have conquered you. They have taken your ability to reason and think as a human being. You cannot function. So mental slavery becomes the worst form of slavery. A physical slavery, the white man knew from then that the physical slavery was not going to last long, because these people, they were being able to build their weapons themselves, and they were going to fight us with the weapons. So in other words, let us use another form of slavery. And I said the Bible played the major role in both the physical and the mental slavery. You need your brain to be unlocked to understand what I'm saying and where I am coming from. And you can't see it. So this Genesis 11. Genesis 11 was a simple code that was encoded into the Bible. The God of confusion. A God who did not like people to be in unison. A God who did not. So look at Africa today. The only independence we have as an African continent is for a fact that no one is leading us with guns anymore. No one is chaining us anymore. No one is carrying us by our force will on ships and taking us to their land to be laborers. That is the independence we have. But apart from that, there is nothing we are doing that shows we have independence. No, you are still a slave. But this time, it is not physical, it is mentally. Thank you very much for watching. I said I'll not be doing this video for long. If you have anything to say, if you want to contribute, yes, I can put my link for some 10 minutes. For some 10 minutes, I can put my link. If you have anything to comment or say, you can join me or you can call me. Yeah. The link is down there. If you want to comment, you can join me. Or if you want to call me on WhatsApp, my number is down there, +233 200 407272. Yeah. Whichever way you want it. Whichever way you want it. My number is down there. Or you can follow the link and be here. This is it. So I came this morning to decode Genesis 11 for you and to show you what role it played in your colonization. What role it actually played in the colonization of the black man. You can follow all our pages down there. Follow our pages, Chronicles of Abraham de Moshe, African Youth Empowerment. If you've not yet subscribed to this page, please click the like button and subscribe. Follow Samson Seto Kwabena SSK on Facebook. Truth is One by Otimo Finisher, the New Generation TV, and you can also follow Shady's Media. You can follow our brother Openi Ejekum Bosomba on Facebook. These are all the teachers that I'm showing you. Follow Kwa 44 on Facebook. Yeah, young boys who have taken up the mantle to fight for their generation. Yeah, thank you. Follow all our pages. Like I said, if you want to share anything with me, my number is down there. WhatsApp +233-200-7272. I pick you up, then we talk. If you like to, you can follow the link down there. I've pasted the link. You can follow the link, and I'll pick you here and we discuss. For just some 10 minutes so that I go off this video. I don't want to be here for long. So the black man, we are coming to decode the Bible. And this time, I want to take my time, read the Bible, decode the Bible. Let's take the Bible word for word, and let us understand the Bible. Let us understand the Bible and the role that the Bible is playing in our life. And it is still doing the same. There is no difference because your brain has been conquered. And when your brain is conquered, I'll continue saying this. The battle of this world, the greatest battle are not the battles that were fought with knives, guns, and machetes. The greatest battles were the ones that were fought with the brain. Because once your brain is conquered, you have already lost every battle. So people wake up in the morning, they took up their missile, they took up their guns, they took up their machetes, they took out their walking sticks to go to the battleground and fight. They got there and realized they had lost the fight because the fight was not supposed to be fought with those things. It was an intellectual fight. It was a fight that was used, the brain was used to fight. And they lost the battle because their brains were not working. Common sense family. Say, Adrena Nyejuma, body ne bread. If the brain does not work, the body suffers for it. Thank you very much for making us number one. My name is Lifestone GH. Till we meet next time, I say bye-bye.
Eye opener on this one. These are the words of a wise man. Nobody carries a heavy burden than he who has evil intentions. Once there's a creation, there must be a creator. God, whose supernatural powers and miracles can only be found in the book, but not in real life, is equal to a God who never existed. Nasajina Nyejuma, Bodini Abraham Ben Moshe, leader of Common Sense family. No size, Wagwan P Black.
We need the brain, we need common sense, we need wisdom. We need insight. We need understanding to run a nation. We don't need prayers.
Koteti anchen.
Kompai bokasi.
David koteti anchen.
Sufre urade.
Was okwadofo.
Okwadofo.
Koteti anchen.
Wa buantati anchen.
National kwan.
Na di uweni. Hwentati ana kwan. Asamando a 16 gate and wa asamando. First gate no. Angel bi go gate na e fen ayakim. Second gate angel bo.
Meme for ade born in China. Sade.
So we are Christian inti.
89.
Christian na mo achi ne edi.
80 me for ade born in China. Many ade betwe akodu tam obekọ buru nsam jam. Na me makọ heaven.
On fa na born in China.
Sade. There be sade coffee. Sade ade ntina me fa ncha no.
O se wanu ne ho.
Wanu ne ho. Ani wanu ne ho a. Yeah, da no obi ya me interview ba bi a. Ade so wanu ne ho nti ane ya jene bata wo ho. Dan nyame be fra bronsa makọ heaven. Awo nyame be je bronsa mabata no no. Dan ma je ade. Eh say. Nonsense. Jimmy for. Eti mo an ya moti asem a mo jaji wie na later makoye investigation ehun sa ade ya ne ye no kora no mo nyina aba abo se mo ye nkwahyeafo. Proverbs eno waka. Eti kofi ana we mame for we nka ho. Mi wi a
chairman quotation back.
Me odi etie. Mi wi a Proverbs 14 verse number 15. Proverbs 14:15. ɔtete kwani ɛna gye nsɛm nyinaa di na onitifo hwɛ ne nanteɛ mu yie obi ɔyɛ tete kwani twimamu akaimamu asantimamu no yɛka so obi yɛ tete kwani akofi asɛnsɛn
ɔyɛ kolo like na dwen mie na ninte
mo na ni mie Bible so obi ɔyɛ tete kwani ana wɔgye asɛm nyinaa di eti mu a ade abɛkeka nsɛnsɛm no nyinaa mu gidi yɛ nyinaa mo yɛ atete kwafoɔ